friends. Welcome to Battletech Blades of Honor Season 1, Episode 3. If you're lucky, this time, I may, as a producer, have remembered to produce and edit this video so that the intro song sequences before it, which may have been forgotten for the second episode, that I only remembered after I'd already uploaded and sent it to Patreon, and it really felt like a waste to just bring it back down. So, here we are again. I'm joined by GrimDarkJames, Neobuzzard, and Raddosaurus for this, our adventure on the planet of Valentina. Here are the current things happening on the planet. The heir of Arnsson doesn't want to embarrass himself in his upcoming meeting, which is happening right now, at Inuyama Hospitality Establishments with Chadwick Powers. You also have a street party that has been bought and paid for by the Yakuza to accomplish your mission of celebrating the coordinator spontaneously. And House Kyeda's heir wants to go back through the house records, check what's interesting, and figure out what's going on with the history of their house, since they know almost nothing. And Rad, because you're the only one that has living family members on planet, I thought maybe we'd meet your dad at some point today.
Okay. Sounds good.
Chadwick Powers flexes from across the table in his custom suit. As a reminder, this man is played by Chef Andre Rush, the former presidential chef. He sits down and says, Lord Arnsson, I want to talk to you today about staffing. I understand that you are new on planet, and I would hate for you to get taken advantage of by local establishments.
That's I appreciate that. Now, how would I address this guy?
Mister. Just
Mr.
Or just Chadwick or Mr. Powers, yeah.
Mr. Powers? Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mr. Powers.
Please call me Chadwick. Or Chad.
Oh, thank you, Chad.
Austin Powers, me?
Yes, I did. Yes.
My lord, it is my understanding, based on several government documents that have been submitted, that you wish to have a hospitality facility constructed along the coastline in the tourist district of Hongetsu Bay.
Yes, that is correct, Chadwick.
Inuyama Hospitality Establishments has offices all across the planet and is well skilled at stocking and staffing the kind of work that you're hoping to get done.
All right. So what are you proposing?
A no competition bid, first through the door. He hands you over a piece of paper with some very generous terms, it would seem. And he says, we haven't even talked about what it is you want, but this is the kind of quality and training you can expect from our associates. And as you can see, our contracts are ironclad and very generous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to read through this and just see if I just want to see if Siegfried here can actually understand what he's reading.
Okay. I will take a business or culture criminal roll.
Okay. Well, I don't have culture criminal, but I do have business.
Okay, business with intelligence.
Okay, so it's a +0 and a +0, so it's straight.
Okay.
All right, I'm rolling on an actual computer now instead of a crappy laptop with a mouse pad.
That's
so
great.
Maybe I won't roll a 2 this time.
I mean, don't get ahead of
and the
yourself.
2.
Yeah, these things are definitely
well,
rated.
I got a 5, so it's better than a 2.
Well, here's the thing. A 5 may be good, but and by maybe good, I actually mean is terrible.
Terrible.
6 is needed to do just the essential basics, like cleaning a pistol would be a 6 on an armory roll. So yeah, I think on a 5, you're looking through this, you're so far over your head and you're aware of it. You're just like, oh man, I don't have an MBA.
I think the way I envision Siegfried kind of interpreting this is he's understanding what he's reading, but he's getting really self-conscious about how long it's taking him to read. So he just kind of like skips the second and like the second and third part of the or like parts of the contract just to make it look like he read it all and try to salvage some kind of face value.
Okay.
Go that way. As a dyslexic person who's a slow reader, I really relate to Siegfried right now.
You feel seen?
I really do.
The inside of his mech cockpit, all of the writing has been replaced by pictures.
Mm.
Weren't we just talking about Robot Wars? Which was the movie where they put all the little sticky notes with the symbols on it?
Oh God, I don't
It
remember.
wasn't Robot Wars. It was the other one. James has to know what I'm talking about.
Robot Jocks, no?
Robot Jocks. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I actually just Googled Robot Jocks while you guys were talking about that.
So I think Siegfried starts to read the contract, realizes that this is something like it's going to take him longer to process this, and he doesn't want to try to lose face in front of Chadwick here. So I think he just kind of collects himself again and says that everything in here seems to be like fair and in order. So I'm curious to know what or I think Siegfried will ask him, what is your interest in joining with my house and forming a business partnership?
Look,
and you've mentioned like a no compete.
You don't need
clause.
to spend your time looking around here for subpar quality performer. We have everything you need up front, and we're willing to get this contract signed today. Now, what's my interest? Look, I hate to be straightforward, but my company exists in order to make money for the shareholders. This is a prime opportunity to get more investment into our company through you. But it should be mentioned, I did my homework. You're a straightforward and honorable man. I feel like you'll uphold your end of the bargain, which can be a difficult proposition for many who get into business here on Valentina. It's a rough world, a border planet. It's got a little bit too much Davian influence, if you ask me. And a straightforward and honorable samurai is a solid business partner and patron that Inuyama hospitality establishments could use in the future. We've got what you need. We could use what you have.
Yeah. And what kind of compensation do I get out of signing this deal?
Are you asking me for a kickback, my lord?
No, I'm asking like, do I get? You said your goal is to make money for the shareholders. If I sign this contract, do I get to become a shareholder as well? Or can we negotiate that in as part of the contract?
Hold on a second. How much do I want to wrap you up in Yakuza business? This could be so dangerous for both of you.
It's not my scene, but I wanted to ask, like, how does this entertainment company, what's their entanglement with the Yakuza? Because I'm sure there's some.
They are Yakuza from another city.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't gone into huge detail, but your Yakuza are represented. Your boss has a bunch of cats with names like Big Cougar Takeshi and stuff like that. Inuyama means dog. And this is I'm afraid
these are competitors.
Yes, they are out of town competitors for sure, and getting a foot in the door. So here's the thing: you might build the casino for them, and then they'll be the ones running it, right? You know what I mean?
Arthur specifically built this scenario to undercut my goal before I had a chance to execute it. That's fucked up.
I need you to know that this scenario was written before you decided that you were going to go full Yakuza.
All because I didn't move on it in the first 2 episodes. Arthur's here.
The Inuyama clan is one of the first things I wrote about. They're attempting to move into power here. Listen, Rad, I don't need other Yakuza to undermine you. I have your parents.
You're taking care of them first, then apparently. You've already got stories written for them. They got to go this session.
Well, that's one way to take over the clan for sure. Kill your parents? I mean, that's a classic. He looks at you and says, I'm sorry, I don't have the authority to sell you stock in the company. But if you come to an agreement with us, I'm sure I can move it up the chain to upper management so that they can talk to you about the sort of opportunities your money might find as an investor in Inuyama hospitality establishments.
I think Siegfried wants to take. I think he's kind of taking this all in. Chad. I've never been one to rush into a business deal. I'm sure your offer is extremely generous. I'd like to know if you'll give me at least until, let's say, noon tomorrow to think about it.
A single day? Far less time than I would have thought. You move very quickly. Such decisive action is a credit to your house.
Oh, thank you. I try to always act decisively.
I'll be in town here in Suite 1211 for the next week. Call me anytime at this number, and he hands you a private card.
Okay. Well, I'll take his card and do the whole very Japanese business thing where I take it in both hands and thank him and give him a little bow, and I don't immediately stick it in my pocket until I leave the room.
You've learned from James, I see. Very well, very well.
But thank him for his time and politely excuse myself with the contract so I can keep trying to read it.
I want to offer the next scene to either one of the two of you, whoever wants it more. Who's got that dog in them?
I do. Just at the end of my scene, as soon as I'm out of the building, I want to try to call up either James or Rad's character and just be like, "Hey, I got a contract. Can one of you guys help me look over this?"
You use your brick-sized cellular phone to use *87 to initiate a 3-way call.
I was going to say, surely you have a group chat at this point, right?
A group chat? That's way too advanced. Your mechs run on floppy disks at this time period.
We have pagers. I just start paging you guys.
We got the Signal app. We're just in there. It's easy, no problem.
Signal? Okay. What do you use, the Tor browser?
We just get on our Discord server.
We're on Valentina online.
Yeah.
I've only been on World for like 2 days, but I'm already on my 60 username with 200 free hours.
How is that possible?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, AP.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, so who would you call first? And we will cut to that. You'll decide whose scene we go to, O heir of Arnsson.
Okay. Just because of Rad's connection to the Yakuza and out of character knowledge that this is a rival Yakuza gang. I'm going to call James first.
We get a 24 style split screen of the two of you side by side, both walking with your brick-sized cell phones while talking.
Siegfried, how can I help you?
So I'm trying to make some business deals, and I have this contract, and I need other people to look over this contract. If you have any kind of free time to help me out, just because I'm trying to read it myself, and I'm the legalese of this contract has me out of my depth.
So free time I have, and I'm happy to help as best I can, but I need to warn you that my business sense is not exceptional, nor is my legal sense. I would think this would be more something in Akari's wheelhouse, but if you're asking me, then I will certainly offer what aid I can.
It's a business deal, and I know that part of it is they want something from me. I just want to make sure I'm not giving away more than I can legitimately promise.
Okay, where are you? I'll come to you.
I was going to offer you the same thing. Just tell me where I can meet you.
Oh, let's meet in town at least. I have more business to do in town than at my estates. So
Hold on. Can I interrupt and say that you meet at the Kyeda estate?
sure.
Because the last thing I know was that James's thing was to do research in the Kyeda house.
Yes, that's true.
Archiving. Yes. I have another reason.
Okay.
As long as everybody's up in the air, it would be really great for me if you went to the Kyeda house.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
sounds great.
All right. I mean, I'm really busy here right now, so why don't you come over here and I'll get my stuff done sorted.
Great. I was in my Jeep and already on my way to your house.
Okay. All right.
And then on the way after I finish the call, I immediately call Mr. the Red.
Gary?
Yes,
Sorry,
Akari.
Genji. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody who's not Akari answers the phone. Like one of the people that she has follow her around all the time screens her calls. So you make it through that
Tony
person.
Stark of you. He doesn't like to be handed things.
I don't like to be handed things.
I think the second it's not immediately Akari's voice, he apologizes, says he has the wrong number, hangs up, and then recalls. Tries to call the number again, double checking to make sure he's punching the right numbers.
Yeah, the guy definitely answers it like, thank you for contacting, like, House Genji. How may I direct your call?
Oh,
and
good.
it's
Shit, I thought I had the wrong number.
and anyway, you identify yourself and he passes the phone to Akari. Because even though he says that, it's not like he's at a switchboard where he could connect a lot of people. He only hands the phone to one person. So no matter who you say you are, she either says they can talk to me or have them leave a message.
It just makes it sound like a bigger organization than it is.
Exactly. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Akari, I need help if you got a minute.
I am currently engaged, but what can I help you with?
I have a potential business partnership coming up, and I have the contract with me, and I just want to get some more eyes on it to make sure I'm not promising anything more than I can really, I guess, give away and still survive.
That sounds like something I can definitely make time for. Where and when would be a good time to meet you?
We're going to Old Boy's house.
Okay. Are you en route?
Yes, I am already on my way.
Then I will make arrangements in the next half hour to head that direction.
I thought you were engaged. You can be done in a half hour.
I am fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be in a position to where I can say when and when I am and am not engaged. So my current engagement can become unengaged rapidly.
Man, I need to get like you. All right, I'll see you.
You are. You're already like me. You just haven't figured it out yet.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. I look forward to seeing you soon. Then hangs up the phone.
Yep.
Tosses this brick into the passenger seat of his Jeep.
All right, I head that way too. but I'll arrive slightly later. Not and she probably didn't have anything going on. She just wanted to seem like she was very busy.
While they're on their way, I think there is a scene of Hiro standing before all these papers, everything that's been left behind of the Kyeda clan, things you've never seen before. I mean, your memories of this house are the first memories of like a 4-year-old. You know, everything seems so much smaller than it did in your memory because you were 4. What your parents look like in these pictures are fragments of a dream, but the paperwork, your father's notes, your mother's records stewarding the house, the family history of your line, this is where you learn who you are. Which is why
I think I have, you know those like archive boxes that you put like paperwork in. I think I've got like a ton of those out, several open, papers everywhere, like trying to sort things into some sort of like obviously I'm happy with whatever filing system my family's used. I'm trying to sort things into data which is relevant, data which is irrelevant, because I'm not right now looking at how to take over this family property. I'm looking into what happened to the family, basically. And I'm probably, it's not really my area of expertise. So I think that I've created more mess than progress right now as I sort of go through, you know, like holding a piece of paper, looking at 2 different piles, like does the paper more belong on this pile or more on this pile? I think that's probably the scene that Hiro finds himself in.
Let's do stewardship wisdom.
Okay, that'll be a -2 for me.
Great. Well, the good news is you can piece together your family history on a 6.
Okay.
The bare minimum.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a great roll. So in the end, it will be reduced to a 9 from an 11, but that's still very good. You do more than piece together the bare minimum of a history. The Kyeda clan originated from different planets throughout the Draconis Combine. Essentially, whenever their service to a local lord was up, they would move the entire family, purchasing a new estate on a new world, letting the old one go, keeping a small honor guard of mechs active at any time, and living as sort of subsistence samurais. They would make enough money to keep the family alive and do their service as honorable warriors. Your line goes back many generations, but your father and mother essentially split off from the main Kyeda line. You are a somewhat more recent development, according to this. That said, there are a lot of discrepancies that you're finding in here. You do see that rather than the more ancient stuff, like written by your parents, there are a number of documents here written by Lord Sung Cho about like keeping this estate up, maintenance on the grounds. It wasn't a junk hole like when the Arnsson family arrived at their new estate. This place has been taken care of, and Lord Sung Cho is the one who has been taking care of it. But it looks like your parents, after their death, a number of assets went missing, like huge amounts of food, specifically grains, money, a battle mech, some sort of stolen Davian battlemaster that was salvaged off of the field of combat. Just some really confusing stuff. Like there's your parents' notes of like these things exist, and then nothing from Lord Sung Cho except to note that those things are not here. There is an absence of them. Things went missing between the death of your parents and his stewardship of these lands.
All right. And so, who was here in the meantime? Was there still staff in the meantime?
It has been kept up by Lord Sung Cho, but now that you are here, there is a decision for you to make as to whether you want to keep those people who have been essentially hired as retainers, permanently hire them. And of course, they're the people that live on the estate, that not like the people that clean the house, but like the people who maintain the fields and such. Their families have lived here for, 30, 40 years. They're not in a big hurry to leave unless you force them out.
And how long was there between the parents' death and Lord Cho taking over?
Slightly less than a year.
Okay.
It is a long but not unusual gap.
All right. Also, are there any pictures of the Battlemaster? Just to, for purposes of identifying it in the future, like color scheme, etc.
Yeah, I think that more than like pictures or anything, the mechs have a serial code on them. Now, of course, if you replace the fusion engine, that serial code goes with it. But yeah, like you have the code for that Battlemaster if you see it again in the field. And yeah, you have a pretty good idea of what it looks like in some grainy black and white photos.
Okay. All right.
There is a noise coming from outside the classic rice paper door. Someone has arrived and is making enough noise that you know they're there, but not enough that if you don't want to be disturbed, they're going to force you to open this door.
They're shuffling to let me know they're there. No worries.
Politely waiting, yes.
Okay, I will go and slide open the door.
It is your mech tech, Poe, who you brought out of service from the Draconis Combine Mustard Soldiery to act as your personal mech tech.
Oh, what is it?
My lord, there are 2 vehicles on the road. One of them appears to be a Jeep.
I am expecting guests. Thank you.
The Jeep will be here quite shortly. Should I go out to meet them?
Let's both go out. I'll introduce you.
My lord, may I suggest that you hire a staff, specifically a butler?
Do you know somebody?
I arrived here less than 2 days ago. This is not my home planet.
Hmm. I'll look into it. Thank you.
You want me to do the hiring?
I said I'll look into it.
Oh,
Thank you.
I thought you said I'll let you do it.
No.
As long as you're doing hiring, my lord, you may want to consider a second butler for nighttime only services, so-called nutler. If you're watching this show and you don't understand that joke, know that it is a deep, deep reference for Raddosaurus. It was made only for him. I understand. I understand inside jokes aren't fun for the people on the outside. But that one was just for Rad.
That's good. That got me. My stomach hurts a little bit.
He walks outside with you. You can see that down the drive. I want to imagine that it's like a gravel drive. And so I imagine Arnsson has left like a wake of floating dust behind him, and choking its way through the dust, like way down the road, is this beautiful Lincoln Town car that is in desperate need of a wash after 30 seconds of driving through this.
Right. So whatever staff are now like on the estate already, I'll make sure they all come out and line up.
Okay.
Right.
They aren't sure how to treat you, but they have worked for Lord Sung Cho enough that they definitely understand how to put on a presentation, for sure. There are no faults with their ability to make your house look good at this moment.
Yeah. As long as we're all nice and lined up. Fine.
I mean,
I'll
if
wait
this
at
is
the head of the line.
this is that classic Japanese greeting, but everybody is wearing Western butler and maid outfit sort of deal.
Not anime butler and maid outfits?
No, not anime butler. And not French maids or French butlers. Someone kicks a red carpet out so that if you stop your Jeep in the right place, you'll be able to get out onto it.
I don't think I was going to, but I think after seeing it kicked out, I think he feels obligated to stop there now.
The problem is you drive on your own though, so once you get out, you can't move your Jeep out of the way for like the red carpet for Akari.
It's just parked there.
I'll hand the keys off to
I
one
was
of
going
the.
to say, there's got to
one of
be
the
a
butlers.
concierge for sure. For sure.
I thought we
One
just
of the
determined
staff.
he has no staff.
No, the staff that he has are hired by Lord Sung Cho and he needs to make a decision as to whether he's going to keep them on or hire his own group. Like these people have no loyalty to House Kyeda. They are loyal to House Cho. Lord Cho is willing to give them to you if you would trust that they would do a good job. A man walks up to you, Siegfried, and says, "I'm Poe," and he holds a hand out for you to shake.
I'll shake his hand and say, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm, what would I say, like Lord or
Samurai.
Samurai? I'm Samurai Siegfried Arnsson."
Of course, man.
And then I hand him the keys to my Jeep.
He hands the keys to your Jeep to someone nearby.
For ballet.
Yep.
Just a bunch of people sitting, staring at the two of you standing on the red carpet.
I feel like the valet drives the Jeep like 5 feet away.
Unmarked parking space. Just enough space so that Akari can park as well.
Right.
Just into like 8 foot tall like wheat field and just like stops.
I'm waiting for Akari before I address Siegfried. So
Wow. I'm 30 minutes behind. So y'all stand there awkwardly for half an hour.
I think you were in visual range, weren't they?
I know you left a half an hour later, but
That's
your house is much closer than Siegfried's.
Yeah.
Is the
No,
thing.
I was just kidding. Yeah.
You get there after a few minutes. Everyone does wait awkwardly, and there's this sort of, mosquitoes and other bugs. You see the humming of cicadas and such. It's just
slaps the mosquito away.
fired. Instantly fired.
I get out. Akari is wearing like an all black kind of jumper that has like a high Mandarin collar. It's like very well fitted. And she has her long katana with her. And she doesn't need a valet. She has a driver that goes and parks her car and will sit in the car and wait for her until she comes back out.
Sorry, when you say jumper, what kind of garment do you mean? Because I think a jumper means something different to me.
It means probably some coveralls, right?
Like a jumpsuit.
Yeah. Jumpsuit.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah,
But like a fashionable one, right? Like you would see people wear in the 80s.
Okay, a jumper here is like a sweater.
Gotcha. Yeah, very different. She's not wearing just a sweater. So yeah, she's so she arrives, smile on her face, happy to be here, and she has probably just by herself. She doesn't have somebody follow her in. She just comes first.
A man moves to stand in front of you. He's an extremely average-looking Japanese man, about 5'5", black hair, black eyes. Holds out a hand and says, "I'm Poe."
She will grasp his hand firmly and give him a slight head nod. And Lady Genji, it's a pleasure to meet you, Poe.
Of course, Lady Genji. Steps back.
Akari-san, Siegfried-san, I welcome you to my home. And like I do like a traditional sort of bow, and I turn to my staff. These samurai are those who serve with me by the duty of our Lord. Treat them in my house as you would me.
You can see that the head butler just kind of nods very formally.
Then once the staff rooms, I'll dismiss the staff and invite them inside. And
I feel like you
tea.
hear some whispering from two maids going past you, where one goes, "How do we treat him?"
We don't know what the baseline is.
So I'm curious to know, like, I'm gonna follow your lead, but I want to know what kind of room you like take us into.
So to be honest, probably into that same office space that I was working in previously, because it is supposed to be like a den or a solar. It's effectively was my father's office, and it's where business is generally done. But I still call for tea, and I'll like push some archive boxes out of the way. I mean, my house is not like. It's well maintained, but it's not, for example, well furnished right now because I haven't yet sort of made my mark on it. And so,
I mean, at least it's standing.
Yeah, there's probably still lots of furniture which has like sheets draped over it to keep the dust off, until it sees use. But I'll pull some chairs over and call for some tea to be brought out. Please, I apologize for the mess I've left. I am still trying to get my head around my parents' business affairs.
Well, let me start by thanking you for allowing or inviting us into your home on such short notice. It is regretful that I impose this on you, but I'm extremely grateful. But let's get down to the brass tacks. I have this contract from I was about to call him Chadwick Boseman. Hold on, Chadwick Powers. What was the name of the company?
Inuyama Hospitality.
Yeah, from an Inuyama Hospitality. To establish some business dealings with me. I'm interested. Everything I've looked at looks good. But I still don't know if I'm necessarily giving away too much. And I as you two are my closest friends on this world so far, I would really value your input. And if you could look at this contract for me.
Yeah, may I? And she'll take it and start looking it over.
You immediately recognize this as one of the...
I 100% know who these people are, right?
Inuyama Gumi, Yakuza. This is a pretty bold move for them. I'd like you to make a culture criminal roll to see how much you know about La Business Familia.
To put it just straight in the shredder?
Does intelligence or wisdom go along with that?
I think intelligence.
Okay. There's a +1 then.
Okay. Good number to have. Okay, an 8.
8.
So that's a little extra. That's better than just the baseline. Inuyama are a sort of friend of a friend of the Shinsengumi. It was one of those in order to attack Wu, befriend Chao situations. Someone from afar that deals with your problem through a line interest sort of deal. Their dealings with your society are decades in the past, at least 20 years. They mostly operate in rural areas around the planet. This is kind of a big city for them. They traditionally staff brothels and red light districts, which are more politely referred to as the floating world, the water trade, or the ukiyo-e on this particular planet. This contract, I will need you to roll a stewardship wisdom roll on it while I think about how much more I want to reveal to you about the Inuyama.
This will also be at a +1.
They are a more populous organization than yours. They definitely have more soldiers. But your clan manufactures weapons. You have a samurai house to protect you politically, and you have access to a battle mech, which ain't nothing. You know, these guys, their street weaponry is probably shotguns and pistols, whereas your guys are using assault rifles, and maybe you have access to a couple SRM launchers and some machine guns, right? Like in a street fight, you guys are gonna prevail just in terms of armament, but they probably have about twice as many members. But they aren't concentrated in one place. They are spread across the planet. Pretty small time overall, unified through force of personality, through their house leader. I'm seeing you rolled 7 + 1 for an 8.
Yes.
This contract is exceedingly generous, to the point that it is super suspicious, until you get to the part where it starts establishing things like ownership in the company for the people who work there. Like, after enough time, they'll earn shares in the company of the hotel industry. It's also establishing like business practices between the two companies that will 100%. I mean, it's a casino. These guys are definitely trying to make it so that the pit bosses and the guys that run the floor can do a little money laundering. And by a little, I mean a fuck ton of money laundering. Just a lot of chip washing, slot machines. This is a strong move, and only by the technical legalese is it anywhere close to legal. Like, it's pretty blatant.
So you're saying I immediately recognize this as exactly what I wanted to do?
I don't think you recognize it immediately. I think it takes you several minutes of working your way through it.
Do I know? So, like, it sounds like my organization and this organization are not openly enemies.
I mean, this could be considered a hostile act, for sure.
But this is a huge overstep for them.
Absolutely. They don't have the juice to pull this kind of thing. If you
do I have
it?
So I know. Let me try and connect all my social dots here before I speak out of turn.
Before you go to war?
Yeah. I know that my Yakuza doesn't particularly want me playing an active role in Yakuza business.
Your mother certainly doesn't, and the rest of the clan is mixed. The leader certainly would like to go legit.
Okay.
You are part of that.
Do I know how the leader... Do I have any insight on how he would feel about this play from the hospitality company?
So, whether he likes it or not, one of the problems with this kind of leadership is that if all of the lower guys get behind the idea of revenge or stopping this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He either goes with the plan or he doesn't keep his job at the top anymore. Sort of. You know what I mean? Like, when in a criminal organization like this, unless he's gonna rule through absolute use of force, which he doesn't, he rules with kind of wisdom, panache, style, and chivalry. If they want revenge, they're gonna force him to act, which is very Yakuza of them.
Right. That makes sense. What I want to know is, do I know how he would feel? Like, is this an opportunity? Since I'm at the spearhead of this interaction, this could be an opportunity for me to ingratiate myself to him by pushing this scenario away I think he might want me to. So do I have any like guess as to what his vision would be?
He is trying to divest himself of criminal activity.
So then wouldn't he want this contract for us and not them?
It would be a solid business proposition for sure. It would also be moving sideways into an industry where, I mean, it's the perfect leap from pure criminal to shady money laundering, finally to fully legitimate that someone's looking for.
Right.
It would be a great opportunity, but it will require you to throw down with another organization.
Okay. All of this is computing in Akari's head. And she's looking at these two.
So hold on, Rad. Just to be clear, you thought you were just going to get this contract with Neobuzzard just with no problems at all. You thought there were going to be
not at all.
Just making sure you understand that there was always going to be some sort of beef.
It's my dream that our first mech combat will be us versus the mercenary unit that this other organization hires.
I see. We'll wait till the end of the episode.
Sure. But no, okay. So I'm looking at this contract and I'm taking my time. Like, it might be awkwardly uncomfortable for y'all to sit there for as long as it's going to take me to look through this contract. I don't know if y'all talk at all while I'm doing this, or if
Poe
you
comes
just
in with a tray of tea and then leaves. He drops it real bluntly, like,
what is this guy's problem? Can I roll an insight check on this dude?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Perception wisdom.
Okay, +1. 10.
This guy has the bearing of a soldier. Not a mech warrior, perhaps, definitely not a lord in any way, but he has the bearing of a lifelong technical officer and not one accustomed to serving tea to a bunch of lords in springtime in the summer home, a solar.
I see. All right. Well, once I'm done with the contract, I will pass it over to Lord Kyeda. Did I say that right? Kyeda. I'll pass it over to you to look at. And as you look at it, I'll kind of explain. First of all, I'm very glad you brought this to me. And I want us to, be on good terms and work together and be cooperative and all that stuff. And she's becoming more relaxed and informal for the first time. And she's like, no pun intended, but I want to lay all the cards on the table here. Both of you seem a little out of your depth when it comes to this sort of thing. So I think it shows a lot of wisdom in bringing this to somebody who can provide you some good guidance. So I want to do that. And I also want to be candid with you about where my wisdom is coming from.
I appreciate your honesty with whatever you're about to tell us.
This organization that's approached you is an outside criminal element disguised as a legitimate business. They're a Yakuza cell from another urban territory that is, with this contract, attempting to make a very big power play to establish a base in the city. And this, if you found this contract confusing, it's not because you're stupid. It's because they are extremely skilled and well practiced at writing confusing contracts in order to mask the true intentions of this legal document, which is to essentially let you pay the bill and for them to exercise full control over the operation.
I think Siegfried asks you to point out where in the contract specifically, where you made those connections.
So I do. So I go, I flip pages and I go over the parts where, the employees will obtain increasingly controlling shares of the company, and how, they'll have ability to move money, without necessary oversight or approvals or things like that. I begin to point out where, look right here, where it should say this, it says nothing. And up here where it says nothing, it provides all of these low-level positions with all of this additional perks and benefits that should not be provided at that level because it causes a loss of span of control.
I think as you connect these dots for Siegfried, his face gets more and more stern, and when you're done, he just starts tearing the contract up. He's just done. Just done.
Now, I think that's wise. However, I think how you continue communication with this organization could be critical. And when I say I wanted to be candid, I want you to know I understand all these things because I have my finger on the pulse of the criminal element, both outside of the city and within it. I don't know how either one of you feel about the Yakuza, but I want to explain to you how I feel about it. Okay, the coordinator and the Draconis Combine are a well-operating entity. And much like a person or a dragon, if that's what you want to think of it, it has many parts and pieces that create the sufficient creature on the back end when it's all said and done. And the sum of these parts are not all beautiful and pristine like our coordinator. There is a underlayment that helps the machine run. And part of that is the Yakuza and the criminal element. It is as much a part of our Draconis Combine DNA as the actual government is. And I think if either of you have spent enough time in the Draconis Combine political arena, I think that's fairly easy to see, is that it is an evil, but in many cases, when it comes to being an efficient society, it has proven to be a integral part of the system that runs our superior society. And because of that, I pay very close attention to these things because I think it's often an underused and uncontrolled asset that exists whether we want it to or not. And if something is going to exist in the city, then it's better to know about it and have influence over it than it is to lay down and let it run you over. And the Yakuza, many of the other lords in the city, they see them as a problem, and they are. But I view them as a problem that can be pointed in the direction that we want to point it if we're able to take that part of the machine and make it work for us. Because I don't know what your ambitions are. I can't make the Yakuza go away. It's simply not within my power. And since I can't do that, better for me to know how it works than to be blindsided by it one day.
So I want to ask, like, out of character. You're essentially saying or trying to hint that Akari knows a lot about the Yakuza without saying flat out that you are Yakuza.
Right. She's trying to dance around it a little bit because she's trying to get enough. She's trying to send out enough echolocation to like read the room and determine like how much more can I say.
I
think at this point we've
established
that Siegfried is dumb enough to not pick up on too much.
I actually want to roll
you've danced around it enough that I want.
Okay, we can roll.
I
want the two of you to roll perception with wisdom, and Rad will have Akari roll persuade with charisma.
Okay. This is also a plus 0 to this roll as well.
Perfect.
So it's whatever I get.
So I have a total of 3.
Wow.
Okay. How can you have so much?
I got a 5.
+1 to the stat, and then
I thought you couldn't have a +2 in anything.
You're if you have an 18 in wisdom, I guess you could have a +2. What? Sorry, what are you rocking there, James?
I got 3 total. So
you have 3 total.
Minus 2.
Oh.
What do you think I said?
I thought you had a +3 to this roll.
Yeah.
No.
It is technically possible, but
I rolled 5 minus 2.
So what's my number to beat?
I got a 5. I think that's the high roll.
Yeah.
All right, I got a +1.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
You dance around it in a way that no one here. I mean, there are plenty of foreshadowing hints. The men, the black cars everywhere, the men who drive you, flashes of tattoos. You're very unique.
To the savvy, I would obviously be lying by omission, right? Like,
yeah, you are lying by omission.
Yeah.
Akari, I say this as a soldier whose specialty is covert operations. Many things happen in the Combine that are not obvious to the people, and that is many times by design. I think that if the Yakuza exists as it does in the way you describe, it's because the coordinator allows it, as does our Lord. And insofar as it doesn't get in the way of what we are ordered to do, then I don't see any issue with what you describe, your involvement as such.
I think Siegfried chimes in saying, anyone who spent any time in the military is familiar with the concept of the E4 mafia, and if this is something that just needs that just helps grease the wheels and gets things done, no question asked, I can see that. But I need to make sure that any business dealings I establish will in turn be profitable for myself and the future of my family. And slowly losing control over the business isn't something I could have allowed. So thank you for pointing that out. It's exactly what I was looking for.
And you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
I have a follow-up question, though. These people came to you, Siegfried, because you have a need. That's something that you hope to achieve, which you obviously won't achieve with them. Is what you hope to achieve something that we can help you with?
Thanks, James. Thanks for teeing that one up.
Possibly. My family back when I had a family, we were in the entertainment and hospitality industry, and that's where I'm trying to reestablish. I want to set up like a series of resorts where people can come in and, let loose, maybe gamble, maybe pay an exorbitant amount of money to try to live as a samurai for a weekend.
Well, let me give you an idea to chew on.
Mm-hmm. I'm always...
So as I've stated, my view on the criminal underbelly of the city is that it's a symbiotic relationship. But this other organization, this is a virus. It's invasive and it does not belong. But with our symbiotic bacteria here that already grows on the underside of the city, this could be an opportunity for you to gain influence over that as well as I have been working to do. I have it on good sources that our city underworld, there are certain organizations that are looking to establish more legitimacy. And I think that could be a very symbiotic relationship that if you and your entertainment industry can team up with some of these entrepreneurs that want to establish legitimate business, mm-hmm. I think that puts you in the driver's seat because you're the one that's in control of that situation. And then it also gives them an opportunity to move away from a life of crime and into a more legitimate setting where they have an actual controlling lord and boss in you, and then opportunity to further their own livelihood through your business. Now, I don't know if I can make this happen, but if that's something you're interested in, you can let me know at any time. Doesn't have to be today. And it's dots that I can help you begin to connect. I think between the three of our houses, we can probably help with initial funding. If you're interested in doing kind of a, shared ownership, I think it goes without saying you would remain the controlling shares and stuff. But if funding is something you need, or again, if business acumen or just resources is something you need, I know that I'm sure we would both be willing to help you with that.
I'd certainly be happy to provide funds once I know how much funds I have. I indicate towards the giant piles of scrap paper.
The furniture with sheets on it. Yeah.
Brad, I'd like you to roll perception wisdom.
Okay. +1.
Quite good. You, unlike the other people in this room, hear the distant sound of a radar dish swinging into usage, and like a low whine of an alarm in a room with a closed door that's briefly opened and then closed again. And about 20 seconds after you hear that, Poe reappears and very inserting himself into this situation in a very impolite way, moves to Lord Kyeda's elbow and says, "My lord, if we might speak outside this room very briefly, there's a situation developing."
Excuse me to the others. I'll go with him.
As he's talking outside, Akari, you hear what the two of them are saying, and he says, "My lord, the Cat's Eye 5 radar system is picking up a intruder on the estate grounds at the northeast. It looks like a Davian battle mech is setting fire to some of the outlying villages while making a direct line to this location."
Thank you. Could you and the Aztecs prepare my mech? I need to let my friends know what's going on.
If we do it by the book, I can have it prepared in 10 minutes. The enemy will be here. Very well.
Oh, okay. I'll go back in the room. Excuse me, it appears that a single mech pilot is attacking my estates. I need to go and deal with this right now.
I think when he comes back, I would already have my brick phone in my hand making a call.
The butler appears while you're making the call and gestures for the two other lords and says, "If you would like to abscond to the underground bunker, I feel it will be much safer than being on the road in an unarmored moving vehicle which may attract attention. Follow me this way."
Do I have any idea how long it would take for someone to like bring my mech out here?
Much longer than 12 minutes.
Like hours, I would assume.
I mean, someone would have to start it first. So let me ask, does anyone else have the ability to start your battle mech? Like, of course, the techs have tech capability, right? But did you give your authorization codes for combat to anyone else?
My priest.
So he could start it up and get it out here. It would be 30 to 40 minutes before it would.
I feel like that's like maybe something I want to shoot for later is kind of like, how do I set up a QRF sort of situation with my own battle mech for the city, whether it can be, I'll get an Osprey, Arthur, to like pick it up and drop it off.
Like a
it's a Karnov. Yeah, it's the Karnov helicopters. Yes.
Yeah, so maybe that's not something I have right now, but maybe that's something in the future. I feel like,
though, if you want to call your mech tech, this is a good time to introduce them. Again, it's weird because you're the one that has family and like local people, so you get the main roster of NPCs.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be like, "I'm a mysterious lone wolf from out of world. My family's dead or disowned."
And I'm like, I know everyone and where everything's at.
The person on the other end of the phone goes, "This is Inari. How can I help you?"
It's Akari. We have a situation out here in the northwest.
Shall I prepare the rattlesnake for you?
Yes, I think that's what it's going to take. If you could get it out here to the Kyeda estate as quickly as possible.
The Kyeda estate. It will be done.
We have 12 minutes until contact. I know you won't be that fast, but the sooner the better.
Yep. The phone line hangs up.
I was gonna say if my mech tech is on world, I want to try to make a similar call, but
okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't have an estate for him to live on, so he's gonna have to like drive to the estate to get the catapult first.
I don't want to mess you up, Arthur, if you're trying to set up like a duel kind of situation between two battle mechs. I don't know what you've got planned or what you're angling
it's
towards.
A duel. It's a duel.
Okay.
It's a mech duel.
And that's fine. My mech will be late enough for it to still be a duel.
Let me show you the cards I had behind. The first time more than one person gathered at James's estate, I was gonna have it get raided and set up a duel there where the other players would be able to witness but wouldn't be able to participate. So when you guys were like, I don't know, should we go to McDonald's? Should we go to Arby's? I was like, go to the Kyeda estate. Why don't we do that? And then Rad managed to get there as well. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
We're doing it early. We're popping this event.
My character, being a famous duelist, will certainly honor any duel that is declared.
You call Heihachi. What you hear is the sounds of Margaritaville playing from your houseboat. Heihachi answers and goes, "Huh? This is Heihachi?
Are you partying on my houseboat?"
I am doing Jumba.
I don't want you to know how disappointed I am in you right now, but please go start the battle mech and bring it.
It's a calisthenics routine, my lord. I'm trying to stay... Sorry, did you say get the mech?
Yes, get the mech. My friend's house is being raided. You need
Where
to come
am
up
I
to
taking this mech to, my lord?
the Kyeda estate.
The Kyeda estate?
I don't think you're going to be here in time, but just in case, I need the mech.
I will have to take very specific roads. There are only so many highways that are rated for 65 tons.
If you need to go cross country, go cross country.
You can hear the sound of, like your houseboat powering its way towards the shore.
Back to shore.
Sorry, I can barely hear you. Did you say go cross country?
Yeah, if you need to go cross country, go cross country.
Okay, this is the one that have jump jets, right?
Yes, it has jump jets.
Okay, so he's literally, you hear him shouting, he's like, okay, I'm gonna jump the river. Because you live on a river that separates you, and the bridge probably can't handle a battle mech, so he's just gonna straight up jump the river.
I'm just like thinking in my head, he's gonna have to fix so much damage that he's gonna do.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna incur hundreds of thousands of dollars of property damage on his way. I mean, you live on the opposite sides of town.
I thought for sure Jumbo was going to be a lady of the night. I'm doing Jumbo on your houseboat.
Well, thanks.
No, like how CrossFit or
like any of those, like flash in the pan workout routines, right?
That's probably Zumba.
Zumba, but it's Jumba.
Okay. Yeah, I can see he's gonna have to cut across at least the corner of the city.
Yeah, it's not great. Well, James, you and I will have to work out an opportunity to play Alpha Strike. It's not just that your life is on the line, but also your estate and possibly your friends could all die if you fail. You will be facing a Blackjack 3 in your Kintaro 20.
I think it's Battlemaster.
No, a blackjack.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's not your old Battlemaster. That would be fucked up. That would be really fucked up if I just did that.
That's okay. So we're gonna go. 85 tons or 55 tons. Right? Okay, no worries.
That'd be really messed up. Here's my question. Yeah. I want to imagine that the camera follows you in a post-credit scene, like Maverick style. Like you've got Neuro helmet in one hand that you're barely holding onto because they're massive at this time period. Yeah. You're in your flight suit.
The little window to see through at the front.
Yeah, but again, you don't have it on, right? Like you're holding it and you're carrying it. You've got your cooling vest. You've changed into shorts and boots. We follow you from behind. We see you get up into the mech through a cherry picker and you put the helmet on. And what call sign do we see on the back of the helmet when it's finally mounted?
We
haven't established anybody's tactical call names.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I will say the Oath of Endosteel have traditionally had the other two players make other people's
Yeah,
call
I mean,
signs.
and that is the military way, and it's usually because of something you fucked up too. Although I think in the Battletech universe they've actually said that mech pilots pick their own names, aerospace pilots don't. But yeah, I know in reality,
For the three of you to choose how you want to do
I was gonna
this.
say it's a Navy and Air Force thing. It's not an Army thing.
yeah. So
I want to pick my own. That's I think it's fun that Indo still does that, but it also it annoys my Army sensibilities, right? Because nobody's gonna allow their call sign to be fuckface or something fucking stupid that their friends would call them. Yeah.
Sleepy. Well, James, if you've got one now.
I know what my call sign is already.
Oh, you want to tell me?
No, we'll wait until I have my mech moment.
All right. Jesus.
all right, I'm gonna go with Akuma.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting. I believe that's a demon, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was the villain from Miraculous Ladybug. Nobody else.
Well, that's right. The villain is Hawkmoth, Arthur.
Hawkmoth, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you blaming me?
Akumas are the little evil butterflies that he says.
That's right.
I don't know fucking shit about Miraculous Ladybug except that Christina V is the voice actor.
Sorry, I'm just used to shouting at Arthur. Sorry. That's my bad.
Why am I getting hit with this?
God damn it, Arthur, get it straight.
That will not be confusing based on the fact that there's also a battle mech called the Echo.
Now I want to change my call sign to Hawkmoth.
There's a fucking helicopter called the Hawkmoth. Are we just gonna name ourselves after vehicles in the BattleTech universe?
Alternatively, I could do Oni. Would be another. Is there a mech called the Oni?
Yeah, elementals are called Onis.
Okay, no, well, look.
Yeah, but you don't know about those yet. That's fine.
Not yet.
Clearly,
sorry.
Battletech is used every.
Sorry, the Akamu doesn't come out till 3058, so you'll probably be dead by then. You're good.
Okay, Norris. Yeah, Norris. I was thinking back to old Mech Commander call signs. This is Rooster.
Man. But the Raven pilot's call sign was Raven.
Yeah.
No, I'll go ahead and tell you. The call sign I decided on was Zero.
Wow.
Specifically after the World War II Japanese fighter. Because I thought that would be fitting for a paper armored Jinner that runs around super fast.
But what we need is for someone to be like, damn it, we got to go back to square one. And then you slam a paper down on the table that changes everything. And you go, no, we're going back to square zero. Do we have a call sign for our Swedenese?
I was thinking, because my asset was a horse, of just giving him the name, like either going with just horse or
Easy Rider.
no, I was gonna say what's the Japanese word for horse? Uma, I think, or Yuma.
Uma, yeah, Uma Masumi.
Yeah, so Uma or horse. I don't know if I want to go Japanese or not yet.
Okay. James will have to set aside some time in the same way that we do Blood Bowl, hopefully in the next week. But it sounds like we're both a little busy.
I'm pretty good. I think you've got Genk on those, so
yeah. Let's think about Monday through Wednesday next week then, if we can find a time. Oh, during Solasta time.
I cannot do last of the next week. I have a building inspection for my house that day.
I see.
At that
well,
time. Yeah.
This is something we can work out at another time.
Yes.
That was an easy time for us. We'll figure it out later.
Get James to play the solo Alpha Strike game by himself and have him record it.
Now play against yourself, James.
I'll take my son Battletech.
The blackjack
you go.
turns and faces away from you and shuts down. The pilot gets out and surrenders to you.
Well, he'd have to use the AI cards.
I actually think it would be interesting to have your son face you, but I would be worried that he would win
Show no mercy.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about, is that he'll use extreme tactics and win.
As long as his call sign is Captain Insano.
Insano? What do you think? He shows up to the battlefield and goes, "This is Captain Insano. I'm raiding your planet."
Captain Insano showeth no mercy.
We'll figure
What kind of blackjack was it, Arthur? You said a blackjack 3?
The BJ3,
yeah.
the ones that are
Okay.
produced exclusively in the the Sun.
Federated Sons?
It's the part of the Federated Sons that got annexed from the Capellan Confederation. St. Ives Compact.
St. Ives,
Oh my god, it took me forever. I was like, Sun, Capellan.
So both my Kintaro and the Blackjack 3 are in MechWarrior Mercenaries 5. So I'll do a MechWarrior Mercenaries 5 match versus the AI and record it.
Okay, perfect. You know what?
I know.
Someone was suggesting that is how I do battles, is to have the players play it out in MechWarrior 5. I'll tell you what. You know what, James? Do that, and we'll see how canon I want it to be.
Here's what we gotta do, Arthur. You're gonna create a subsystem, all right? And it's gonna be
another one.
It's gonna be
whatever I can out of this thing.
It's gonna be Andrew's Casino, and what we're gonna do is we'll have James will simulate all of our battles in MechWarrior 5, and then people in Discord can place.
Oh no! No, he froze. He froze at the perfect moment. No.
I feel like I froze.
You froze for sure.
Yeah, sorry.
You got to the part where you were explaining to us how we got to MechWarrior. All right, go further. Go further.
It's Andrew's Casino, and everybody places bets on the battles, and James determines the battles. They simulate the battle, and then everybody places a bet on like what the over and under is, that the results of the actual battle will be the same as the simulated battle.
Interesting.
All your Discord can get involved. They can all place bets, right? We'll have imaginary C-bills. And then that'll somehow factor into Andrew's Casino. You'll figure out the details. I'm sure. I don't want to.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, not real money.
James and I went to the same place.
I will bet actual Comstar credit. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we'll let you know what this seems like.
Isn't there a conversion for US dollars to C-bills?
There is. It's the price of a kilobit per second.
This seems like something Eric
like $5 to a C-bill.
Eric, I know you're going to watch this. I need you to figure out a gambling subsystem for C-bills and a casino based off sporting.
You need to have Lawson doing this shit. Lawson is the one who's sports betting.
Isn't one C-bill 1 kilobit of data over 1 light year? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the light years matter. I think it's just 1 kilobit of data per message.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a thing in Vegas. Like in Vegas for the Super Bowl, they'll have the teams play each other in like Madden or something like that.
Yes.
And people will bet on whether or not the outcome is going to be the same.
My understanding is the Madden game has been correct every year.
Yeah, something like that. It's like an outrageous record.
It's like nearly
accuracy.
100%. Like not the score or like the injuries or anything, but that the winning team.
Just the outcome.
Yeah. But I don't follow sports, so I could be totally wrong.
Hey, the Gran Turismo movie is about to come out about the kid that got the job driving after playing Gran Turismo with Orlando Bloom in it.
Gran Turismo, I want to break my foot off in its ass. I'm still really pissed. The only DMCA I've ever received.
All I remember about Gran Turismo was on PlayStation 2 or 3. My college roommate played it a lot. That's it.
I learned how to drive through Gran Turismo 2 using a Honda Civic 3-door hatchback.
Is that where you go sideways?
Wow. I'm a professional driver.
How do you define being a professional driver, AP?
Over 100,000 deliveries.
Okay, so you were actually paid to drive. No worries.
Yes, James, I was actually paid to drive. I've driven more in my life than most people will drive in their entire lifetimes.
Do you have your expert driver's badge from the army?
Yeah, I got my expert infantry driving badge. It's the EID, not the same as the EIT.
So one of the best things I've ever did in my life was because I had to get a professional driver's license when I was a bodyguard. And the company I was working for sent us on what they called an offensive driving course. That was interstate. I had to fly up to Queensland for it. And pretty much it was a 2 days where they had a bunch of old cars that were no longer registerable, had all the windows had been smashed out. They would still move, you could still drive them, but they were not cars that could ever legally be driven on roads again. And by the end of the 2 days, they were just scrap metal because we learned ramming techniques, we learned the pit maneuver. It was using your vehicle as a weapon because, at the end of the day, if someone's shooting at you, running them down is just as effective as shooting back at them.
That sounds like incredible fun.
Sorry,
It was
I did the
Absolutely
opposite.
once in a lifetime fun.
I took a professional defensive driving course from, is it called Bristol? UR in West Virginia, where you avoid people trying to pit you, or they intentionally put you in a drift while moving sideways at 80 miles an hour on a wet skid pad, and you have to get yourself out of the drift without killing the other two So they do you in sets of 3, and then a dude on the professional, right-hand side driver. And so, while the 2 other people are fucking up really badly, you're in the back seat just getting tossed around, so you learn how to what it's like. All right. Did anyone accomplish any of their goals? I think that the answer is
no.
I
Yes.
don't think so.
I think James accomplished identify what happened to his family. Well,
no,
yeah, I guess you did.
I don't think so. No, I wouldn't pay that, Arthur, if I was a GM.
Okay. Well, we'll have to work harder next time. We did have less than an hour for this episode, though. So I say that in an hour and 20 minutes. But
I did just find 2 dice under the table in TTS, which I put back on the table again.
Perfect. Take a free experience point for that straightforwardness. Any closing thoughts? I feel like
just ask, because I don't know the system. So is the only way to get XP to achieve goals, or is it just general? Okay.
So the way that it's twofold, because the way you get XP for your character is through achieving goals. The way that you get XP as a mech warrior is every fight you'll have the option of banking a point towards going from skill level 4 to skill level 3, or getting an SPA.
And we have 4-5 pilots right now, is that right?
Well, we're using Alpha Strike, so you're skill level 4.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
They don't split it.
Yeah. Skill 4.
Arthur, what do you have my 2 goals as?
For me, your 2 goals are align myself with a new lord in the casino district and get a new ally hooked up with Kyeda, which I think is supposed to mean that you want to have somebody honeypot Lord Kyeda.
That's right.
Yeah. Your other goal is also to honeypot Lord Arnsson. You want to get everyone inside of your family before you take over the crime family.
I'm assuming you can change goals throughout play.
Of course. Would you like to change a goal?
No, just...
Okay.
From now on, all my goals are going to be survive the episode.
That's not a goal. You know what? That would be a goal, but you wouldn't get, it would just get you 200 XP with no additional,
Well,
and you would also challenge me. It would challenge me to have you murdered every episode. Hey, you know what? The Endosteel guys they got their first goal completed on their 3rd episode or 4th episode.
Mm-hmm.
What about the party?
I think that was the goal they completed, right? Was the party to be successful?
He's talking about. You guys are talking about 2 different things.
Our party.
Yeah,
our street party.
Neobuzzard's talking about the party for
their
Endosteel.
party. Yeah, the birthday party. Fuck that guy's birthday party.
I will give the whole group XP for the party, actually.
Okay, that's like a group goal, you would say, probably.
Sure.
Okay.
I will award, because no one had a goal at the time, I will award you XP for that. So let me look through my notes and see what's appropriate. I would say that advances Hangetsu Bay specifically. And it specifically advances Baron Koji. Oh god, you guys are going to get a fuck ton of XP, actually. But it is known to everyone. So it's 200 plus 300 plus 300 plus 100, which, if my math is correct, is going to be 900 XP, which is going to push our expert about 50% of the way to leveling. So, strangely, that is actually a really good goal to have. To do something for your feudal lord inside of his city. Crazy how that works out. That's how you get the big XP.
And we don't spend XP in the system, right? You just level up and you
level up and you'll get skill points, which you'll
stuff
invest.
to spend. Okay.
Yep.
Old school.
I like it.
Any other closing thoughts?
Nope. Had a good time as always.
Game.
Yeah, thank you for the game, gentlemen.
What is our
I
likelihood?
love the fact that Neobuzzard and I both have complete idiots and rads walking over us. It's funny.
Yeah.
It won't last forever.
I have in my notes, right? Like from our first, like, met with two other lords. They both seem like dummies. Like, continue manipulation efforts.
Yep.
I mean, at some point, someone's going to point out you guys are in deep with the Yakuza, and then that's not a good.
Well, I tried to, I mean, everybody knows what I try to do. I'm trying to make it feel like it's your choice, right? And you're going to choose it. So that way, you know, it doesn't come back on me like I manipulated you into something. Like, because everything I said was true.
Going to work on your NLP there.
Yep. Like, hey, I'm just throwing it out there. This is an option. It's a good one. And all I've done is given you good advice so far. So how could you possibly be motivated to think otherwise, that it's also good advice?
Amazing. How are we for next Thursday?
Should be good.
Yeah, so far.
Should be good, yeah.
Okay. Well, if we're lucky, James and I will have had a duel before then, and we'll have an episode. Otherwise, James and I will have a duel in this time slot. Folks on Patreon, thank you for your patronage. You get 1 week of this early. And, you know, if you're watching live on YouTube during the premiere right now, as one of the 6 people watching live, hey, congratulations, you've made it to the end.